You know, it wasn't just like our
That's
parents were
right.
trying to just get us in just because even though maybe we weren't as good, we should still be in. It wasn't that way. We had worked our way into it, and we worked so hard. And our parents saw that the whole season because they were always there.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Okay, welcome back. Part 2 series. I have the twinners in here today. Hello, hello.
Hello. Hi.
And we just went over kind of laying the foundation of how our family preps and comes ready to excel in every sports season we're in, right? So just to recap real quick, we went over some of our standards and the importance of showing up fully, whether it's, physically being at our best, even emotionally being in our best, and just coming to really support and respect and honor while we're there. And bringing a sense of excellence in everything we do. Not perfection. The kids all know, Greg and I are not looking for perfection. They don't have to, be out there and, I don't know, like for instance in tennis, go 6-0, 6-0, and us feel like that's the best thing ever. If they're out there grinding it out and doing their best and we see real effort, then we feel like that's perfect for us.
Almost like you guys always say, your best is enough, but your best is required.
That's right. So, but if we see our kids out there not giving their best, then, we are going to have a discussion. But our kids have worked very hard this year in the season. We only have 3 more tournaments for tennis. These are the last 3. And this is kind of the big show if you, if you're on the team. Our coach heavily promotes these last 3 tournaments as the priority to the whole season.
Kind of like the pinnacle of the season. Everything before that was just practice tournaments, things like that. This is really what the season's about right now.
Right. So our kids, last year, Chrissy was on varsity. The girls were on JV. This year, all 3 made it to varsity for tennis. And they've worked really hard. I can just tell you, they have significantly improved through the year. We have not seen one of you guys not perform at such a better level than you ever had before. And we have encouraged them, whether they were doing singles, like Chrissy's played sometimes, mixed doubles, like some of you guys have done, doubles, whatever it may be, to have a good attitude. Because sometimes you can end up with a partner that, doesn't work as hard as you or doesn't have as good of attitude or maybe just doesn't take it as serious, right? And we've seen that this season. And unfortunately, some of those kids that seem to not put as much serious effort into the categories that we talked about in the previous podcast, seem to be moving through the ranks a little bit and securing a spot. Is that how you would explain it, Belle?
Yeah, I would say we couldn't fully understand what was going on because there were some kids that had more stable footing getting their positions, and we were just kind of confused as to why they were and we weren't, and we felt like we were similar levels, if not we were better in our opinion. And we felt like, with everything that we had proved or done this season, it would have been good. It would have been like, yeah, you guys deserve this, but instead we were put through more testing, which was confusing.
Yeah. Did you want to add something, ma'am?
Yeah, just like I felt like every time our coach would say, oh, this matters for the season. This matters for the season. But it actually really didn't, until it got to like one day when it was like, okay, you got 2 fast 4s, like best out of 3. Pretty much like if you won 2, then you're advancing. And it was just like, that was it. That would determine your season, if you were going on for those 3 tournaments or not. And it just came on all of a sudden, it didn't feel like, it just felt like the girls that we were playing against, they were very connected to our head coach. And they had gotten practice all season. And then suddenly he put me and Bella together for the first time all season. We had been paired together. And it just was very surprising and kind of shocking. We weren't expecting
Yeah,
it.
so to us, it felt like the coach was playing some favoritism. Some kids have been on the team for some time and they've proven themselves. Some had earned their spots, and that was great. And then there was about, I would say, 5 or 6 girls that I would say for sure you guys were at the same level with, if not better. And it proved to be that way several times throughout the season. Whether you guys won at some of the matches, whether at practice you beat them, whether it was with even hard work habit, attitude, whatever it may be, dedication, respect. Like we were definitely giving it all 3 of you guys. And when it came to like the last couple of weeks where the coach kept saying, hey, by the way, I need to finalize these last 3 tournaments, we thought for sure you guys were a slew in. Like for sure, all the reasons we talked about in the last podcast: good attitude, work habit, honor, respect, dedication, bringing your all, grit, just giving your all. And there were for sure 3 girls that didn't bring much of anything, but they had connection to the coach. And then there was 1 or 2 girls that they played not horrible or anything like that. It just didn't seem like they were necessarily better than you guys, and just didn't bring a lot to the table. And when it came down to it, my girls had to do some unexpected last-minute challenges at practice that really was shocking and a little frustrating.
Yeah, I would say the most frustrating part was that we had worked so hard during the season, and then he was like, oh, by the way, we're going to do this quick set. This is determining your season. You're either staying after you win this or you're just going home after this, and you won't be playing in the tournaments. So just so you know, treat it like that. And I think for us it's just kind of startling knowing we had worked so much harder than the girls we were playing, and we did win, which was really important, but we were just kind of confused and frustrated with that. And so I feel like that was kind of a shocker.
Yeah, it was more
of
of a disappointment.
Yeah.
We were super disappointed, I think, in the coach that my twins have been playing for him or under his JV coach this is your 3rd year playing with him, but Chrissy's second year playing with him. And we have proven quite a bit. Like not only just our, like I said, attitude, but improvement in all of it. And I think we were super disappointed in him because unfortunately our coach just plays a lot of mental games. And we had to step in and teach our kids to keep beating their opponents on the court. Don't get into the politics. Just prove them wrong by beating them on the court. And sometimes beating on the court was really hard because he would play mental games with you guys. Threaten that this practice today meant everything. Or this match meant everything. If you don't win this, you're not even on the team. And that's a lot of mental game. It's not how Greg and I coach. Everyone has a different way of coaching. But there was a lot of mental game, not just physical game. And it felt like even after you guys kept winning, there still wasn't a secure spot for you.
I think just the confusing part was he never set, like, how it was going to work. How is he going to kind of, like, single out what ones he was going to take? Of course, you got to take into consideration all season, but then you got to have, like, almost that tryout. Like, it wasn't that surprising that we had, like, that, but it was just surprising how it suddenly came on. He didn't, like, say it way before, like, oh, this one actually matters. He kept saying, oh, this one's matter. Oh, never mind. That one didn't matter anymore. This one mattered. Nope, never mind. It all just came down to this, and he didn't, like, really specify that even like leading up into this. I think that was the most confusing part, knowing that we didn't know what was going to happen of how he was going to like figure out his people.
Right. So to kind of bring it to a head, he needed to finalize his roster for these next 3 tournaments about 5 days ago, something like that. And the girls came home and we were a little surprised to hear again they had been challenged. They had been challenged on the court against some girls that we have proven numerous times to have beat, not only just with like your sportsman abilities, but even attitude and commitment level. These girls came on pretty lazy a lot of times at practice, bad attitudes, and honestly just weren't as experienced. They were freshmen and not as experienced as you guys either. But again, had favoritism because the coach has coached them in the past with some of his own camps and stuff. So you fast forward and our kids were just in a bad position. And Greg and I, again, we really pushed the girls to deal with a lot of stuff, but we had a good conversation, Greg and I did, after the girls came home and explained everything to us. And we just started mapping out what our kids brought to the table. How you guys did step up to every challenge he asked you to do, how you weren't prepared a lot of times, but brought brought it even after not playing together all season. Like how you guys brought a good attitude and work habit and grit and honor and respect. All the intangibles plus the tangibles we brought to the table, right? And Dad decided to send an email. Typically, again, we don't get involved and we allow, but we realize if we're passive in this situation, you guys might not get an opportunity to play for the next 3 tournaments, which dictates if you're actually quote unquote a varsity player.
And the funny thing is, he was like, this, like the Fast Four was going to like determine your seating, you know? And then afterwards he got us together, all the girls, like we had beat, and because Chrissy was a part of this, just doing her singles one. And he's like, I'm not going to say anything today. It's not finalized today. And then Chrissy had also been told they'll probably maybe have a challenge match even on Monday because maybe they had an off day. And that was never like what was discussed or anything when we started. It was pretty much, this is determining everything.
So that, they came home. Greg and I discussed it. We came up with our list, and Dad sent a nice email asking for some explanation. And I will just tell you, even as parents, like I encourage you, you know, you don't want to be those parents that are complaining all the time, but we want to actually step in and advocate for our kids when there is an obvious reason why they should be promoted to the next event, you know? And, you know, the squeaky wheel does get the oil. And we realize that some people will just complain and they keep getting their way. You know what I mean? We wanted to be those people that come in with logical, you know, comprehensive, great examples of what our kids do. And so Dad and the coach went back and forth with some polite emails back and forth. And I was really proud of the fact that we had been discussing this with the kids. We didn't go over every email at first. Dad wanted to discuss it with the coach, but we wanted to make sure that our coach knew we're advocating for our kids because we don't feel like anybody else is right now. And I was proud of the girls because, you know, at first you can be like, I don't want my parents to get involved. You know, like, oh, we'll just take care of this ourselves. But you guys were actually thankful, yes?
Yeah, I think it just brought a new stability knowing that our parents were totally on our side, you know? Like, they knew, they saw all of our work, you know, and it was earned. You know, it wasn't just like our parents were trying to just get us in just because even though maybe we weren't as good, we should still be in. It wasn't that way. We had worked our way into it, and we worked so hard. And our parents saw that the whole season because they were always there. And they had to bring it up to the coach. The coach had to kind of realize it's not favoritism here. Mm-hmm. Like, we're obviously doing our best here, and we deserve that spot.
All 3.
Yes, all 3. All 3 of us won our challenge matches, you know? And it's not like it should be a redo on Monday just because the one that coach maybe he wanted didn't win.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I just think it's important to recognize that we definitely want to be those people that advocate for our kids and be in communication, because with the communication, we were all on the same page. Would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think once we kind of discussed the situation with you guys, we were all kind of on the same page of what we were going to ask and things like that, the way we were going to send the emails. So I feel like we all kind of were on the same page about all of it, which was really important. So then we all knew what we were hoping to be the end results.
Yeah, we were hoping that it would work out well because we knew you guys had earned it. It wasn't because it was favoritism, but that you guys had put in the grit above and beyond those that you were competing against for the spots, and that there would be opportunities for them in the future if and when they did the work that they needed to do, but that you guys had really done the work and it was your turn to have a chance at it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I feel like this is going to be a really great season now that we've kind of had that confirmation and we all will get to play in these tournaments. So it was definitely worth, though, you guys stepping in. I feel like it's really important to advocate for your kids because you don't know what the other side of it is if you don't. Like, you know that you did the part that you could, and now it's not in our control anymore. We did what we could, and we did our best.
Mm-hmm. And I think just to, like, sum up what actually happened after the story, we so they sent the email. It was kind of back and forth throughout the weekend. It was nice. It was like a Friday was the challenge match. So then Coach kind of sit on all this throughout the weekend. Mm-hmm. And then how it worked was like Mom and Dad just prepared us. Hey, on Monday, just be prepared because we don't know what's going to happen. Just be prepared for another challenge match. You know, let's come out prepared, not shocked by it. Let's be ready for this. So that was another thing that I think you and Dad really like tried to help us with.
Yeah. So overall, advocating for your kids are so important. Just navigate it well, communicate with your kids, and make sure that you have real facts to back it up with, you know? And therefore, then I feel like the communication became pretty obvious. And at that point, are we thankful? Super thankful. Now we got to go beat them on the court again, though. Right, girls?
Oh, yeah. We're so ready now.
Anything you want to add, Ab?
No, I'm just so excited for the season. Happy we're on.
Yeah. All right. Here's to the next season, guys.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.